So what do you mean by signature strengths?
Your talents, your skills, the values that are kind of the internal engine that run you. Um, so, and the signature strengths can be, you can create a legacy if you're a florist. You can create a legacy if you're a carpenter. You can create a legacy. You have some signature strengths that you use in your work and also in your personal life. And sometimes we just don't use them well enough. And I think that's when we feel, you've probably felt it. You felt sometimes a little unused. I'm not taking advantage of really who I am
Hmm.
and the strengths I've got. And when you learn to do that, we are the happiest people out there.
Okay, so let's say one of my viewers is sitting here with
Yeah.
us. He's not an author. He's not going to leave a plethora of books behind.
No.
He's not a millionaire, so he's not going to endow us a university. And so, what would you advise them for them to be able to create a legacy starting now?
I deal in the book and I talk about stories, and one of the stories you can tell is the story of you. And there's a variety of ways to tell it. I've been building and telling stories for my career, but one of the neatest way I found, and I did it to test it out to see how I felt, is write my story and write the story of who I am by the values I keep. So I asked people to go through a from 500 values, boil them down to 10, boil them down to 5, and look at them and say, these are the values that are my internal combustion engine. These ones make the decisions behind the scenes for me. These are the ones that make me me. And so the legacy would be, I call a legacy letter, where you take those 5 values and tell me for each one, why is it important to you? And tell me a story about how you lived it. And I show people, I deal with my life very, very clearly and tell some I think, pretty good stories. And it gives people an idea. You could do that tonight. Write 5 values, why they're important, the stories behind them, write it out, put it in a drawer. And when I did that, I put it in a drawer. I felt absolutely relieved because now at least if I'm hit by a herd of water buffalo tomorrow, my family will know something about me that we really haven't talked about. And that legacy letter kind of says, here's who I am, here's me, here's what I thought I did. I think leaving that for your family is pretty affirming and joyful whenever I get,
So, what's one of your values, and what's a story that illustrates that?
ah, okay. One of my values is integrity.
Hmm.
Quick story: I was going to go climb a mountain right on the border of Alaska and British Columbia, a very technical mountain. A friend's wife just died from yesterday from back then died from breast cancer. He called and wanted me to be at the funeral, be a pallbearer, and I said, "Ken, I'm climbing this mountain on Thursday. We're leaving tomorrow morning." So I said, I'm going to do something for Kathy. So they were a Catholic family. I went out and got a crucifix, and I said, I'm going to take this to the top of the mountain and put it up there. We started climbing. 5 days later, we're nearly there, and I had to jump a crevice and clamp myself to a wall of ice and climb up it. And it made me almost sick that I couldn't do it. I just was so beat up, and I was so fraught with jumping over this crevice and snapping myself Spider-Man like onto this wall. And I thought, yeah, but if I give the crucifix to the guys, I will have broken my promise to Ken. I'm taking it to the top of the mountain. So I just let my mind go back into how I would feel when they came back down and I didn't go up. I gave it to them. I said, no, no, that's not going to happen. So I jumped and climbed up and got it done. Got the crucifix up there, put it on the top of this mountain overlooking the world, cried like a baby, and came back down. So it said to me, and I didn't know about legacy back then, but it said to me, yeah, you have some integrity. You did what you were going to do. You went through the fear. You did it. That's kind of dramatic. Then I've got other ones that about joy and truth and health and that sort of thing.